Now my next task is to get these spark plugs and wires changed. Before I do that, let's show you the error code. So on the dash, there's a check engine light that comes on because we do have a misfire, and my OBD scanner here gives you the P code, and it says cylinder number 8 misfire detected. Now, since it's cylinder number 8, the owner of this vehicle here has gotten all the spark plugs and wires to go along. Let's show you what that is. Okay, so here we have the ignition coils. He's gotten, looks like he's gotten, how many of these he has? Looks like he has 8 of them, and he's gotten some replacement spark plugs, and looks like 16 spark plugs he has here. I've never in my life replaced 16 spark plugs at one time. I have a V4, and basically it's just 4 spark plugs and 4 ignition coils. In this case, it's a lot. As you can see, the reason why you need 16 spark plugs, each coil has 2 spark plugs that it feeds into. So I guess that's how they make the Hemi engines. I have no idea, but that's the reason for why there's a 16 spark plugs versus just the V8 with just 8 spark plugs. And I'm replacing the ignition coils. I have all 8 coils, but I have a misfire in cylinder number 8, which is this one on the passenger side. Basically, there are 2 banks. There's one. Let's take a closer look here. Yes. So it looks like 6 each, with 2 coils attached to each spark plugs. The problem I had was removing the ignition coil connector. After I push up that red notch, I have to push in on that area with the screwdriver and lift the plug up at the same time to remove it, and that took a little bit of work. You have to be careful also not to break off that red connector because it's pretty fragile and it is plastic. So here comes the ignition coil. Just pull it straight out. That's what it looks like. And right now I don't really see anything visually wrong with it to be causing a misfire in cylinder number 8. But I have the replacement here. This is the old, and that's the new on the right side. Now what I'm going to do is get in here and take out those spark plugs, replace them with my spark plug. There are 2 types of spark plug you can use on removal tools. One is with the swivel, and one here, I have both, one with the swivel, but it doesn't have a magnet inside of it, and the one that has the magnet doesn't have a swivel. So let's see what I can do without visiting the repair shop or the Autobahn or Advanced Auto. I can see why there's a swivel, because the engine is at an angle where it's hard to get things in and out straight. As you can see with the camera view, it's just very difficult to get things pulled out of there properly. Okay, I have it halfway loosened up. I turn it with my hand, and I turn it. Since it's magnetic, once it's loose, I should be able to pull it straight out of there. Okay, oh, not loose yet. Keep going. There's two hands. Okay, here comes the spark plugs. And there it is. You can look at the tip of it. You can see it looks like it's a little bit, it's really brown. Has some deposits on it. And I'm going to remove all two of these and replace both on cylinder number 8, as we said before. So take that out of the tool. That's what it looks like. Set that aside, take out the next one. Get my ratchet. Now I'm using a straight spark plug removal tool here. They recommend you use the one that's has a swivel on it, but there's plenty of room in this Dodge Hemi to actually work back and forth as an extension on my ratchet. So a little bit of patience and it should work out. Most of this stuff is really all about patience anyway. And generally speaking, when you're trying to fix something, if you're not sure, it doesn't feel right, it's better not to actually continue, because you don't want to break something and make things worse. So if you're not sure, or you're just in doubt, stop what you're doing, do some research and come back. Or ask someone with mechanical abilities. Here comes the second spark plugs. Here it goes. And this is the first and second. And they're just as dirty. One seems to have oil on it, so it might be an issue. The second one, if you look at the rings, it appears to have some oil on it. But that's okay. That's probably just for sealing it properly. Get a better view. So these are the spark plugs I took out. They're pretty fouled up. So something's going on as to why there's a misfire. Is it the spark plug themselves? These are iridium spark plugs. Or is it the coil? So I'm going to replace both of those on that cylinder and continue. Here are the plugs I'm replacing here. Oh, I just dropped one. So these are the iridium spark plugs, or laser iridium. Okay. I'm just going to insert these and tighten them up. And also put this coil in, it's a brand new coil. And crank it up and see if there's misfire still. I'll put you back here, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I know it's very difficult, but I'm working by myself. Now, you really should put some oil at the tip of these spark plugs before you put them in, so I'm going to grab some oil and I'm going to come right back. It's just easier when they have to be removed that they don't get seized up. So, hold on. Alright, so we're back and I'm going to put a little bit of grease. Avoid touching the tip of the spark plug with your finger, but I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the thread before I put them in. Basically, I'm going to put a little bit of oil. Not sure if you can see that, but that's all oiled down basically. I'm going to insert that into the plug with my spark plug 2. And this is one of 2. When you put it in, don't drop it in. Just ease it in all the way. Right to tighten, left to loosen. So working it by hand. Once I feel it tight, I use my ratchet to tighten up just a bit. The problem with these is really if you over tighten it. That doesn't mean you should leave it loose. That's a bad idea. Okay, it feels snug, so I'm going to snug that up with my ratchet. It's about a quarter turn. After this plug is in by hand and it's tight, about a quarter turn should do the job. And for the next one, same situation. Now you might be wondering if you should gap the spark plugs. Once you buy these for the vehicle that you have, you specify that you go to say Autobahn or Advanced Auto, let them know the vehicle that you have. They get exactly the spark plug that you need and they're pre-gapped already. So you do not need to actually adjust the gaps. And if you did adjust the gaps, you should really know what you're doing because you might mess up the firing. Okay, that's snug, so I'm going to put my ratchet in. Okay. I'm going to go for a quarter turn. And that should be good. Okay. Now for the ignition coil here. They come with their screws already on there. Good thing about this one here, this is the old one. The old one, the screws, they actually come right out of there once you loosen it. But the new one, I noticed, the screws stay in all by themselves. So you don't have to worry about losing them or dropping them into the engine, which is an excellent idea. Okay, so those are good. And here goes our ignition coil. Just work it in nice and slow. It's all rubbery, so it's okay. It goes in by itself mostly. I think I have that right. Push it until it's snug. And I'll get ready to put the screws in. Let's get a better view here. Okay, I should have taken this engine cover off, but I don't want to go through all that trouble of taking the engine cover off because this air intake has actually prevented me from doing so easily. So I've just decided not to go through that process. Totally unnecessary for me at this point. Just extra work. So here the coil is in, it's seated properly. The next thing is to tighten it up. Same way I took it off. So get my ratchet. And I'm going to find my screws. Insert. and turn. Oops. Okay, looks like we're going on just fine. Just takes a bit of time and patience. Most of this stuff is just patience. It feels snug at the top. Do the same thing with the bottom before I tighten it. Let's see if I can get a better view of what I'm doing. That might be easier to see right there. There you go. Hope you can see that way easier. Seems like it's just turning and turning and turning forever, but I think it's in. Just gotta be patient. That one doesn't seem to be catching. Not sure what's wrong there. So let's remove the top one and then check out the back one, the bottom one, see exactly why it's not tightening up. Okay, let's see if I can pull it off and check out what's going on. Okay, take that back out one more time. There it is. Now this one here doesn't seem to be catching when I'm spinning it in. The top one is okay, so this is the bottom, this is the top. The bottom one just seems like it's not going in. Why? I have no clue. So let's back it off a bit. So turn this screw all the way out, since it's basically self-seating, just enough so it can fit over the holes. Okay, now back them all the way off. Put the coil back in. Nice push, make sure it seats properly. And let's start it by hand. The top seems to have caught. Let's see if the bottom one will catch as well. I'm not sure if you can see properly, but this accessory cable here, this engine wiring is in the way, so it makes it very difficult to turn my wrench. So I finally have managed to get these screws tightened up, but these screws that are on the new ones from Duralast, let's take a look at the package. Yeah, the Duralast, they don't come with the washer at the top here. See, there's a washer right there. It's just basically the screw, and for some reason I had a difficulty getting this lower one in top one was relatively easy. This lower one took a little bit of work to get it lined up properly. Okay, so now I'm going to connect our cable. Now the owner of this vehicle want me to replace all 8 spark plugs and 6 coils, but I had a misfire only on cylinder number 8. So the question is, should I replace all of them? So let's connect this and start the truck up and see if there's a misfire still. Click, it's in. Okay. So everything is good. Make sure to double check everything I did before. Everything is where it's supposed to be. Right now the air intake is not connected, but I'm going to start the truck without it and see if there's any issue. I'm wondering if I should really replace these or not. These are easier because this one is in the back and it's a pain in the neck. These are much easier to replace and take less time, but so I want to remind everyone, if you are watching this video and it's helpful for you, please subscribe to the video and give a thumbs up and a like, please. Since this person has all the 4 coils and all 16 spark plugs, I've decided to replace this entire bank. Look inside the spark plugs hole. I have the plugs in. I'm going to tighten them up and crank it up and do a scan, OBD scan, and see if there's an error still. I'm pretty sure this one here is cylinder number 8, and that's where the error was. Okay, so here I've finished up my installation of the spark plugs and coil on this Dodge Ram 1500. And I'm going to start it up and see if it actually works. This over here is, I guess, bank number 2. I could be wrong about that, but cylinder number 7 is next to the brake booster, which makes it very difficult to remove the spark plugs and the coil. And of course it's a double coil, because this is the brake booster right here, and I'm glad I don't have to mess with that at this point. Let somebody else deal with that headache for now. If I had to, I'd give it a try, but I just don't have the time, and it looks like it's going to rain. So at this point, I'm going to go back inside the truck and start it up. After I start it up, I'm going to do a scan. All right, let's see if we can get this thing started. Wow, it started. It's running. Now the check engine light is still on, as you can see there, but I'm going to reset that and take it for a drive and see if it comes back on. The brake light is on because the parking brake is engaged right there. Not releasing. There you go. Gotta pull this to release the parking brake. Okay, so she started. So now I'm going to do a scan. OBD scan here. Let's see if I can do it while you watch. So I'm going to go back. And I'm going to erase the code that I had there before. Do an erase. Just please wait. It says erase fail, so I have to turn the car, in this case the truck, off. Turn key on with the engine off. and I've done that. So let's try it one more time. So I'm gonna go OK on this. I'm gonna go erase codes one more time. It says, do you want to erase codes? I say yes. Please wait. I hope that doesn't come back, because if it did, or does, it means that the misfire is on the other cylinder, or the other bank. What does that say? Linking error. What does that mean? Okay, let's start it up. Check engine light is still there. Okay, so here I've restarted the vehicle. I had to turn the ignition off, so the engine wasn't running, and have it partially on. Then erase the code, and then the check engine light flashed. Then after it flashed, I did another scan, did another erase, turned it back on, and here you can see the check engine light is gone. So if it appears the problem is fixed. I don't really feel any kind of shaking. The RPM is registering about 650, maybe 700 RPM. It seems to be fluctuating just a bit. I'm not sure if that's normal, but I don't really feel any vibration. So if I come back on, let you know, but right now everything looked good. Thanks once again for viewing the video, and please subscribe, give a thumbs up and a like. Bye for now.